71% of Fortune 500 companies still run mainframes. A third of the engineers who can read that code will retire by 2030. Unfortunately, most attempts to modernize these systems fail, not because the legacy code is unreadable. That part is solved. They fail because a business rule gets lost, a hidden dependency goes unmapped, or an invariant nobody documented quietly breaks in production. And 30 to 50% of those rules don't even live in application code. They live in JCL, copybooks, CICS, VSAM. That's where programs lose them. Here's how your team runs enterprise modernization works successfully with CoreStory from start to finish. It starts with one upload. CoreStory analyzes your full code base and synthesizes a knowledge graph, detailed specifications, and a queryable intelligence model, a persistent layer that grows with your project. Your agent can access this model over MCP, the Model Context Protocol. Whatever harness you use, Claude Code, Copilot, Cursor, the workflow is the same. The work itself is structured by our playbook: 6 phases, 5 approval gates, one repeatable workflow. These patterns have been established for decades. What's new is operationalizing them for AI agents. These are the 6 phases. First, assess the code base. Second, extract the business rules. Third, choose a target architecture. Fourth, sequence the work. Fifth, execute the work incrementally. Finally, verify behavioral equivalence. Each phase produces a deliverable, and each ends at a gate where a human, not the agent, makes the architectural commitment. The agent pulls data and writes code. People make the decisions. Phase 1. Assess. Your agent uses CoreStory to walk the codebase, components, dependencies, data stores, and the non-code artifacts where mainframe business logic actually lives. It scores each component on a 1 to 5 modernization readiness scale and recommends a strategy. Your team reviews, adjusts, and decides. The deliverable is a readiness report. Gate 1 is a simple go, no go. Phase 2. Extract rules. This is the most skipped phase and the most common cause of modernization failure. It's also a feature unique to CoreStory. In this phase, your agent extracts every business rule embedded in your code into a structured inventory, each rule tied back to a specific file and line. Your team validates them with domain experts. This inventory is the behavioral contract, what Phase 6 verifies against. Phase 3. Architect, the most human-driven phase. Your agent surfaces options across the 7 modernization strategies: retire, retain, rehost, relocate, replatform, refactor, repurchase. Different components get different strategies. Then every behavior and scope gets tagged: preserve, modernize, change, add, or retire. Your architect makes the call. The deliverable is a signed architectural decision record. Phase 4. Sequence. Your agent maps which components must move together, which can extract independently, and what infrastructure has to land first. The output is a stack of work packages, each scoped to a sprint or two, that flow directly into project management tools as epics and stories. Phase 5. Execute. This is the loop your team will live in for months. It uses the strangler fig pattern by default to transform a component, run it side by side with the legacy through a facade, then eliminate the original after equivalence is proven. However, other patterns can be supported according to your preference. The key, no matter your designated pattern, is that your agent will use CoreStory during its implementation to reference the spec, write strong test coverage, and validate its code before shipping. Phase 6. Verify. Your agent traces each rule and acceptance criterion from the inventory into the modernized code and classifies it: equivalent, improved, different, or missing. Your domain experts sign off on the differences. The deliverable is a behavioral equivalence report, the artifact that gives stakeholders the confidence to retire legacy code without holding their breath. 2 systems run underneath every phase to keep AI-derived findings honest. The confidence protocol grades every finding: verified, high confidence, hypothesized, or contradicted, so your team's time goes where uncertainty actually lives. Behavior tagging forces a deliberate decision about every behavior and scope. No silent drift, no findings taken on faith. There are 3 steps to start running this on your own codebase. Step 1. Create your CoreStory project at app.corestory.ai. Sign in, upload or connect your repo, and wait for ingestion to complete. CoreStory generates the specifications, knowledge graph, and intelligence model automatically. You only do this once. Everything else builds on top of it. Step 2. Install the prefab agent skills. Each phase has its own skill, publicly available for you to install today. A thin orchestrator skill sits on top, routing your agent to the right phase and stopping at every gate. It works in your existing agent harness with zero additional configuration required. You can customize these skills based on your organizational or per user preferences whenever you like. Step 3. Run the playbook. Your agent pair programs with CoreStory's agent over MCP. They work independently, then surface their findings and recommendations to you for approval. Ask for an assessment, you get one. Ask to extract a service, your agent runs phase 5 and stops at the gate. Every phase ends with a person committing the next decision. When the work is structured this way, modernization stops being a multi-year program that your team has to survive. It becomes a workflow your team runs every sprint, with persistent intelligence accumulating across the whole engagement. With Core Story, modernization isn't a project. It's a workflow. Start at app.corestory.ai.